Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for coming back this afternoon. There was a question over lunch. If you are tweeting, posting on Instagram, etc., about this afternoon, please tag autonomy in your post, and the hashtag for today is autonomy LCS, as in London City Summit. We shall kick off this afternoon with one of our keynote speeches before we have more panel discussions. We've got panel discussions coming up on autonomous deliveries and super apps, etc. But first, this afternoon, we will kick off with our keynote speech giving an industry perspective on automated driving. Please welcome from event partner Pave Europe, Lucas Neckermann.
Thank you so much. Giving an industry perspective to a room full of industry experts is a little bit presumptuous, so I'm going to focus on one thing that I think is really, really important, and that's, for me, the missing link in the puzzle for autonomous vehicle deployment and adoption, and that's education. I think we all agree that humans are horrible drivers, and we can talk about the reasons why that is. Primarily, it's because we'd rather be doing something else, like texting, watching movies, or whatever. Who cares? That is not my key message. What bothers me, frankly, about quote-unquote humans, us all, is that we don't quite yet accept the autonomous vehicle benefits to the full degree. Now, that really doesn't apply to those of us in this room, but it does apply to everyone else out there. So my colleagues and I, we did a study about 2.5 years ago called Being Driven. We surveyed 3,000 people in the UK, interviewed a few dozen people, including, frankly, some of you and your companies. And this study found some key deficits in terms of what needs to be done in terms of autonomous vehicle adoption. And one of the key deficits was really in the understanding of autonomous vehicle technology, and frankly, also the comfort level. So this study has been replicated as well in other countries. We've seen it done certainly in the US, we've seen it done in Europe, in Germany, but in the UK we found that, as you can see, we never got above about a third of the population being comfortable with vehicles at an L4 or L5 level. So we published this study and we said, okay, there's a key task that's missing that's not being addressed, and that's to educate. So we had the idea, let's start an organization that's going to bring together the players, the actors, across the ecosystem. So we started with the idea of an organization called Being Driven, launched as a project initially. We identified some co-founders in 2019 with a mission to drive acceptance and passion for autonomous mobility to the only audience that really matters. And well, that's the users, the humans, the people, the mass public. Fast forward a little bit, at the same time that we were thinking about this here in the UK, Pave in the US was launched at CES. They grew fairly quickly to 19 members, and throughout the pandemic they grew to over 80 members and developed a lot of educational content. So what we decided here in the UK and in Europe is that there would be a consortium that would share the brand name. It would be a sister entity to Pave in the US, but it would be called Pave Europe, and also by extension, of course, and I know that Nick already mentioned that this morning, Pave UK. So we have a series of sister organizations around the brand name Partners for Autonomous Vehicle Education, and we do what we say, right? The clue is in the name. We educate. So in Europe, we have 6 founding members. These founding members, Achmea, EasyMile, Mobileye, Waymo, TÜV Rheinland, and Swiss Re. And in fact, these founding members are our initial board. They are quite literally, and I was just texting with them on the way here, meeting right now. The board is meeting today and tomorrow for the very first time. We started the organization just formally just a few months ago. In fact, we formally announced it at Autonomy in Paris. And we hired our managing director, Guido Di Pascal, and he started in his role on September 19th. So Pave Europe is up and running. We are staffed, and we are, well, ready to take your membership and your, more importantly even than that, contributions and partnership. Pave educates, communicates, and advocates. The mission has very slightly changed, but broadly speaking, it remains the same. It's a public education campaign that helps to create an autonomous vehicle future, and I think we can all agree to this, that increases safety, mobility, efficiency, and sustainability. In doing so, frankly, it also creates economic opportunities for many of your companies and for the countries where autonomous vehicles are deployed. We believe that autonomous vehicles offer the potential to improve on the safety, mobility, and sustainability. So this is a core embedded belief of the members and the founding members of Pave Europe, but also of Pave. And we believe that public acceptance is really the key to unlock the potential and the benefits that we are all here talking about today. That's it from me. I'm here to take your questions. I'm here to listen, but I'm also here to solicit your membership in Pave. And please do jot down the email address, maybe the web address. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to have you join as members and as partners of Autonomous Vehicle Education. That's it. Any questions?
Can we see?
Yes.
I'll come around.
What it would look like. People who never thought they would use this unless they had it.
So there's two pieces to what you just said. Yes, understanding, the conduit towards understanding and education, but also experience. So that takes us to what are the things that people actually be doing, right? Of course, webinars, speaking at events like this one, speaking at not just autonomous vehicle events, because frankly, I probably don't need to convince most of you in this room. So the key audience is really the ones out there, the ones that haven't yet fully embraced the benefits.
unfortunate, I'm sorry, Editor Sawyer-Zenzek. So when we're educating the public and encouraging them to jump on the train of autonomy, I think it's eventually will have some unfortunate events and some fatalities will be involved. And that might be related to one particular company, but I think the whole industry will be suffering from that negative PR. So I'm wondering, do you see yourself playing a role in managing those situations? Because if the public gets cold feet, I think everyone will be suffering as a result of it. Is that on the to-do list?
Funny enough, I actually wrote about exactly that scenario in a book in 2014. I said, there will come that time, and frankly, we've already had that time, and sometimes it's, rightly, and sometimes it's wrongly attributed. I think we all share the frustration when there's a newspaper article that says autonomous vehicle involved in a collision, and we realize it wasn't the fault of the vehicle or the engineer or the developer or the OEM or anyone that was involved. There was an external force. So yes, there's a certain amount of frustration, and of course there's the kind of Gartner hype cycle that is in there where, yes, we need to manage that communication, but we also manage that with truth. We manage it with facts. We manage it by educating the public and saying, look, no technology is 100% perfect, but we're getting, progressively better, and it's also better than the alternative.
But do you see yourself as responding to those particular incidents, or?
Pave certainly in the U.S., where Pave has certainly a lot more traction, a lot more membership, is very, very often called upon by the media to, issue a statement or to take a position on these things. And I would expect that Pave Europe is that way as well. In fact, it's enshrined in the deed of Pave Europe that the managing director, but also the directors, can speak on behalf of the organization.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.